What's poppin', guys? It's Easy with the chops. It's cold outside. It's a great day, and it's a great day because it's a day. A lot of opportunities, a lot of chances to make some shit. In my 10-hour talks with myself this week, I kept coming to the same conversation, and it's a conversation that a lot of people aren't ready to have because it feels like we missed out on something, or I'll speak from the first person. It feels like I missed out on something, and I feel like I've been navigating my life under the wrong set of instructions. I just feel like maybe a lot of time has been wasted or lost, and I could have been more efficient. Things that I'm talking about is love and relationships. I feel like there's a general understanding culturally, or at least socially, that relationships equal love and vice versa, but that's just not true. Understanding that can actually provide a lot of context for why people a lot of the times end up resentful or traumatized to certain degrees. It's really important that we understand that words have meanings for a reason, and obviously there's nuance and connotation to basically everything, but if we ignore the denotation, then we're basically not speaking the same language. I discuss these kind of topics dispassionately because I feel like even though I wish they could have helped me, I know that there's someone who may watch this video who has not done the things that I've done or has not made the mistakes that I've made. And so if that person finds this video, that one view, this video is worth it. I'm not a humanitarian. I'm not trying to sound like one, I'm just being honest. Anyways, love as a noun is an intense feeling of deep affection. The second definition is a great interest and pleasure in something. As a verb, it's to feel deep affection for someone, or like. The second one is like or enjoy very much. With that foundation, it can take many forms and many expressions. And I feel like love is probably the most creative emotion you can have, because many people can feel love, but they can show love so differently. It's almost like music. Many people can make music, but you have EDM, you have jazz, you have rap, and then there's many subgenres, something that may sound like something else, but it's not exactly the same. Just like love, you have something that may feel like something else, but it's not exactly the same. And then we have the aspects of love, which is intention and outcomes. Love itself is such an insane topic because in the pursuit of love and the pursuit of giving love, those are two very different things themselves. I believe personally that when you say that you love someone, you can mean that that person makes you want to give them love. Right? You love them, you have that affection for them, you want to give them some form of love, or you want them to feel loved. And those two distinctions can save you from a lot of trouble and a lot of heartache and a lot of situations where you're just not synergistically aligned. I watch a lot of that couples therapy channel, and I just listen to hear, like, what is the actual problem? Like, Dr. Nora does a great job of letting them evacuate their emotions, but sometimes they tell them themselves. Like, you don't even have to guess. It's just clear. Because like I said, when you're coming from a place of love where, hey, this is how you make me feel, I love you, and so I'm just gonna share that affection with you, that's not a pointed effort. That's not a pointed effort at all. I mean, you're just expressing freely. That's the creative love. You just give it how it feels to you, and they can take it or cannot take it. But when you love someone, you want to make them feel loved. The practical love, that's a different effort. Some may seem more noble. I would argue that it might be more effective. It's less emotionally raw and passionate, but it's more effective for the object of said love. Oftentimes, people have their love languages, and this is just a esoteric kind of thing just to understand the ways that you can receive love and give love. But obviously, it's an umbrella. There's many, many things that there's a ridiculous amount of things you can do to feel loved or make someone feel loved or express love to someone. When you're trying to express love, you have to ask yourself, do I want them to feel my passion, or do I want them to feel the connection? So now that we have somewhat of an understanding on love, let's go to relationships. Remember, words have meanings. Relationship, as a noun, the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. I feel like everybody has a relationship to something, like inanimate or animate. We all have relationships to something. I have a relationship to this hoodie. I'm wearing this hoodie. I'm the wearer of this hoodie. This hoodie is mine. I have ownership and I have possession. and I have connection. This hoodie is on my skin. I can feel it, I can experience it. Relationships are just that. They're the concept of being connected to something else and how you're connected to them. That's what a relationship is. And when you think about a relationship in terms of romance, a lot of times people conflate liking someone or having that love or that deep affection for someone for being compatible for a relationship. A lot of the times that relationships are thought of, it's almost synonymous with love. Like, oh, if I love this thing, I have a relationship to it. That's not necessarily false. You have a relationship to everything. You even have a relationship to strangers. The relationship is that there is no relation. And so when love comes into play, you have to understand something. You have two things that you can have with love. Three actually. You can receive love, you can give it, or you cannot experience it on either end. Obviously, as humans, social animals, we want to experience some version of that. Some people are blessed. They can both receive and give love in a given relationship. Oftentimes, it starts at home with who? Our parents, and more specifically, our mothers. There's an insane nuance and specialty in the maternal connection, which I believe is the foundation for forming our interaction with a certain emotional depth. Not to say that fathers can't do that, and not to say that they're incapable of such, but like coming from a person, and that person being your source of life, health, and strength for a set amount of time. Physiologically, there's a bond being established that throwing a football couldn't do, that giving high fives and going to a sports game or being supportive couldn't do. I believe that foundation is laid. Can that be destroyed with trauma, negative experiences, etc.? It could definitely be damaged. We see it all the time, but those would be unhealthy individuals and unhealthy situations. The moment you understand that you, in your most free experience of life, your most creative and free experience of love, should be able to love something without trying to put it in the constraints of a relationship, that is pure love. That is true love, in my opinion. When you want something to feel your affection, whether it be your passionate affection, however you feel it, or your workable, executable affection, however they would feel loved, either one, if you can do that without trying to control, a relationship has boundaries, a relationship has commitment, a relationship has rules. None of those things are bad at all. But if your point is to be a lover, those don't go together. And there's nothing wrong with trying to maintain both. We see marriage is a thing, be it legally or culturally, religious, whatever the case may be. It's possible to have both. But if you're truly a lover in the purest of forms, then be that. There's nothing wrong with that. I believe that the people who are the most free are the ones that can love and let go. They say if you love something, let it go. And that sounds so cliche, but it's like truly, if you really love something, then you will let it go. You will. We often see that love is used in the place of other words. And that's where I think people get confused, conflated, and it creates a bit of an inconsistency. Love is often used for attachment, connection, things like that. When they're related, but they're not the same. They're similar, but they're not the same. Because I can be attached to someone and there's no love there. Once again, there are many unhealthy cases and scenarios we can go into, but I can be connected to someone and there's no love there. Now, there's this amazing thing that I didn't discover, but I put a name on it, and it probably exists, and all of my intelligent, super smart viewers can slap me over the head in the comments and let me know who actually made this a thing. But it's like proximity. Proximity can foster things that normally wouldn't have happened. So for example, this is a crude example, but hear me out. At work, let's say you're an introvert. You don't really like to socialize. You go to work to the same place, to the same area with the same people for 1 month, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. All of a sudden, you're not so introverted to those people anymore. Proximity has developed a relationship that normally would have never been fostered. It can happen that way in many different situations. As humans and social creatures, we're often, I use this term lightly, but victims of our own nature because we don't understand ourselves. And we are a mix of complex and simple concepts interwoven. And it's your responsibility to yourself to determine what degree of existence you'd like to exist on. Is ignorance bliss? Perhaps. But they also say knowledge is power. So what's more important to you, bliss or power?